Hey, what's up guys? Nick the Informative Fisherman out here with a personal friend, Ken Ma, West Coast Delta fishing legend.
Having fun.
In my opinion, for sure. Now, Ken's notorious for winning out west. You know, he's a go for the gusto. You live by the win or die theory, right?
I do, and it's hurt me, but then I've won some, so yeah.
When, like, just earlier, Mike Coleman calls us and he's like, hey, the Senko bite's on. Ken's like, what's that? Just playing around, because he's a live by the big bait, fish big, win or lose, and dude, it's worked out great for you.
It has. I mean, you know, but I also have. You got to be able to accept the 75th and 80th place finishes also.
No. No, you don't. You don't have to accept anything. So anyhow, we're out here on the California Delta today. It is, I would say, post-spawn, early summer. We're in mid-June right now.
Right.
Water temperature where we're at, it's like right in the middle 70s, right?
Yep.
And so what we're doing now is a variety of things. When it gets hot, you can flip, you can punch under these mats. You can throw big top waters around shade lines or shallow vegetation. So we're gonna be throwing some buzz baits. We're gonna be doing some punching, throwing some chatter baits.
Yep.
Aiming for those big fish. If we get them or not, who knows? We were with Ken back in April, right? It was April.
Don't say nothing about it.
And we ran into literally probably one of the toughest days. He sticks like a 5.5 pounder right off the bat. I'll show you this clip here in a second.
Yeah.
And I think
thought it was going to be on. I was like, here they are.
Dude, it was like 3-4 casts into the day. It wasn't the first cast, so we didn't have that jinx. But, you know, 3-4 casts into the day, he sticks a giant. We thought it was going to be on. We had a north wind. It was post frontal. It just shut off. After our first big fish, shut off. One of those brutal days. You got a guy like me, fishes the Delta all the time. Guy like Ken, fishes the Delta all the time. We had, what, 5 fish on the whole day?
Still have tough days, you know, so I would tell people, you know, you're viewing, you have tough days, don't get discouraged.
Absolutely.
You know, take care of yourself, you know, and retie, re-spool.
You know, cuss. Get it out of your system. A lot of cussing. No, I'm just kidding. All right, hang with us, guys. Hopefully we'll break down some techniques and put some big fish in the boat for you.
Okay, so now let me show you that big one from back in April and then a few other dinks that we caught before we jump back to our regular film.
Like a nice one, too. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Good one.
That is a freaking tank.
First slouch of the morning. Stay on, big girl.
Oh, that's a big one. Oh, that's a big one. No, I got it on spotlight.
Oh, shoot. My bad.
Cool.
I'll keep this away.
Come here.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn the boat out this way.
Huh? That's not bad. Looks like it's
guys.
Looks like it's just maybe starting to spawn. Freaking post front. Looks like a 5 or so.
Today's post frontal. We're dealing with the north wind. Everything you don't want this time of year, but just like that, we got a big fish in the boat. So maybe these conditions are lying. We're gonna hope these conditions are lying to us today about how tough it's supposed to be. But we're gonna break it down. Some patterns we're going over, things we're looking for throughout the day, and teach you guys a little bit more about Ken here and let you guys get to know him. So stay with us.
Yes.
Well,
looks like
the conditions
What
weren't lying.
there?
I don't know.
What happened there?
Now you're free game,
Super
Ken.
dink that just came off. That was weird.
Got him.
Dang. Explosion.
Yeah. That was a hell of an explosion.
That's a big long, huh? Man, that's funny.
Not a bad fish.
No, and look, I mean, it's always good. Always good when they're eating the front hooks.
Yep.
Yep.
Means they wanted it.
Means you got the retrieve right, and you got everything right when they're eating that front hook.
Here you go.
Nice healthy bass right there. So we got the one fish early jinx on, I know.
Yeah, looks like it.
Oh, professional boat flip.
That's what you want. You want
Professional boat flip.
You want to knock them out before they get in the boat. They're really hard to grab onto if you get them in without knocking them out.
But look, the same thing with the buzzbait fish. Look how good they're eating.
Dude, they're eating. Show them that. Show them how far back.
So, just like we talked about on the buzzbait fish, you know, anytime those fish got that hook like this far back, you know, you know that they're eating, you know that they're aggressive, and you know you're throwing the right bait. Should be a fun time today with me and Nick.
trying to get all friendly.
Been that way, hasn't it been?
Oh God. Gosh darn it.
Freaking swam off with the tube.
Darn
At
it.
the end of it.
So Ken and I are both throwing vibrating jigs right here. We're sitting in 4 foot of water, maybe 5 foot, where it's kind of reading the grass ledge. There's a perfectly defined grass ledge from here right out to that point right there, to where it's like literally grass is a foot from the top of the water and then just a sheer wall. And what we're trying to do is leave about a 10, 12 foot gap out to that grass line, and we're throwing at an angle, paralleling it through that grass and popping it through. And as soon as you pop through that grass wall, there's this long defined wall. This is a lot of the time, this is where bass will sit in ambush. They'll be right in that wall looking for bait fish cruising along that weed line. So Ken and I are getting it up in the grass and we're popping it out. He caught quite a few a little farther up into the grass mat. He got some topwater fish already, so they may not be out here, but a lot of the times this is where the bigger ones will move to, and the smaller ones will be a little bit deeper into the grass. So we're taking a shot at finding a bigger fish, not necessarily numbers, with this method.
Hang with us, guys. We'll be right back. Hey guys, did you know that yours truly is now hosting Lucky Tackle Box's monthly panfish instructionals? And aside from relentless fish catching, I'll be breaking down the rigging and the gear you need to get going along the way. And of course, a few extra tips to help you score more fish on the goodies included in your box. So remember, the tug is our drug. So go visit LuckyTackleBox.com and get signed up today. Bigger, better, badder. The evolution of the buzzbait is upon us. The Evolution Baits Grass Burner is a high-performance bass snatcher machine. High-end components, inline displacement, larger profile, balanced body for fast or slower retrieves, better deflection, and oversized treble hooks. You wouldn't bring a slingshot to a gunfight, would you? Find out more at evolutionbaits.com. Ever tried pulling a planer board next to your boat when trolling or fishing from a swift current bank? If not, you're missing out on one of the most phenomenal fish catching machines on the market today. With Yellowbird planer boards pulling your lines perpendicular to your boat, you can't help but catch more fish. Find out more by visiting www.yellowbirdproducts.com. Did you know that P-Line makes specialized lines for all your fishing needs? From the super strong abrasive resistant CXX or the low stretch super stealthy CX Premium, or maybe you're looking for invisibility or super bite detection with P-Line's 100% fluorocarbon. No matter what your needs, P-Line's got it covered. To find out more, visit P-Line.com.
P-Line, baby.
Oh, you heard they got weapons of big fish destruction? Well, you heard right. BWA Fishing Performance is the newest company hitting the U.S. market by storm. With some of the sickest swim baits around and non-cookie cutter style lures that you could ever get your hands on, it's time to show these fish something new. Visit BWA.com. Attention Northern California anglers, have you been to Boat Country in Escalon with one of the largest selections of welded aluminum fishing boats from North River, Hughescraft, and now Crestliner? Chances are they have the right boat for you. And did I mention they have a full service center to take care of all your repair or boating maintenance needs? If you're a boat owner or just looking to become one, you owe it to yourself to check these guys out. Visit BoatCountryUSA.com or stop on by. We'll see you there.
Good one? Nice one.
Not bad.
How do you eat that one?
Little cheddar fish. He ate it like nah. Little BWA tail gunner. No, I love that combination. Dark colored blade, fish in this dirty water. Dark blade is probably one of the most uncommon things that guys use, but out here on the Delta, you'll see Ken throwing a dark blade all the time, me throwing a dark blade.
I got them in colored blades. I actually have red blade ones and blue
Why they got to be
ones.
colored, Ken?
Because they are?
No, but there's so much more dark in bluegill and so much more dark in crawfish. Out here on the California Delta, it's primarily crawfish and bluegill. You know, a lot of the time in the fall, we'll get mass clusters of shad. So like a nickel finish at that point can sometimes outfish this, but really like a dark blade.
You've had quite a few of them pushing. You know, so.
With their little hands. They've been coming up on it.
You chopping them?
Oh, it's easy enough, you can.
Didn't even fall, look at that. It didn't even fall a foot.
The old Johnny Jackarooski. That's a bigger weight. Warmouth.
Warmouth?
Is he off?
Is he on?
Yeah, he's on.
Nice.
Yep. Warmouth.
Hey, I like it. Those things are
Beautiful little
Beautiful fish, huh? That's a bad fish right there.
Yeah. Punch rig back. Cannot just stare at this and go by.
Gonna get bigger, but they're fun. Choking it. I always tell people, like, oh, it's a small one. I'm like, dude, they're all big until you get 5.
All right, I'll punch on the ounce and a half. I see what's going on here. I would have known we had a ton of hyacinths over here. I would have known better.
We're not keeping score.
All right, so guys, I was punching with a 3/4 ounce.
That's a good weight, Nick.
And it is a good weight. If you can get through the slower drops, sometimes is gonna get them. But I generally like to punch with an ounce or an ounce and a half. Your bait's, a higher percentage of the time, your bait's gonna go through the thicker stuff and it's gonna fall fast and it can get them to react. And that's clearly what's going on. Ken's punched in behind me with some stuff. Our setups are almost identical looking. The key difference is the heavier weight. And not only is he getting through a higher percentage, but it's just dropping through faster and getting a reaction. So I'm cutting off, I'm putting on that ounce and a half. I'm gonna get back in there and join the game.
Man, our spot was so hot, we couldn't keep the cowboys and Asians from flocking to it.
Nice. And you said?
Shibbity.
What did you say when you retired?
Yep.
What did you say?
So there's a little thing that I was telling Ken. I said, you know, when I'm retying, I could try to challenge the Warriors everywhere. You know, every year I could try to challenge the Warriors and I can make it to the playoffs. But, you know, why try to beat the Warriors? I could Durant that thing, switch to the ounce and a half, and join the winning team.
Right away it happened.
Right away. I mean, look how porcely that little sucker is.
Go get him.
He's moving. Oh. He's out.
Feel big?
Yeah, he felt big. At least 3-4, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
It is hard to tell. See, I'll say this too. There's like two trains of thoughts when people flip, pitch, or punch. There's some people, like Nick, he's using a little bit lighter rod.
Some people.
He wants to give those fish. He bows up on them. He holds on. And then either you got to go in or you hope they come out. Wow. I'm on the other side of the spectrum. I really am. You know, I like using, I always preach 80-pound braid. I use a stiffer.
That's what I'm on.
Yeah, I use a stiffer rod. And I hit them. If I have them, I just pull and pull and pull and pull. Because I think you're going to lose some anyways. So,
that's true.
So you got to kind of pick kind of who you are. So
yeah, it's
I'm just a puller, a masher, a mosher.
Smishy masher marsher.
Smishy smasher,
You know, and
mosher.
you know, on the other side of that, like there's been situations like Ken says where if I would have just kept pulling, I probably would have got him. And then there's other times where I felt like it didn't matter how hard I pulled, I had to let the fish wallop.
Right.
So yeah, there's definitely two schools of thought on that. Use the 2x4, and then a rod with like a little bit more tip, like I'm using. But 80-pound braid, we're both using 80.
Right.
And you know, a lot of people do it. I mean, I know Obi and Mark punch with 50, 55, and I used to do that, but I have a tendency sometimes of cracking the whip too hard.
Yeah, and your liner break.
Yeah, if there's a little bit too much slack, even cracking the whip with 50 pounds, that instantaneous pressure, something gives.
Yes.
I think sometimes you tear a bigger hole in the fish or something, and they're more patient on getting that hook set.
Right.
Me, I tend to not be so patient. So the minimal, like I fish my frogs on 65 and I punch on 80, just to eliminate it.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing as Ken here, just to eliminate the odd of breaking that off.
That's right.
I don't feel like I get any less bites because of it either.
I don't either. I don't either.
Fisherman? Yep, those little extended points.
Dude, this is so much fun.
Little extended points, man.
I mean, how do you not have fun?
Dude, yeah.
I mean, look, they're eating it, you're cracking them right through the nose.
Right through the nose, man. You know, and the funny part is, you really got to hunt around on the Delta to find these mats now.
You do.
Yeah. So, I'll let you break this down, Ken, where our high percentage stuff is. Come on up here and look down the channel, let Ken explain what we're catching them on. You can see where we're going to catch them in each one of these spots.
Yeah, you can see the, so the way I always, when I'm punching, I want to find a lot of isolated stuff. And then I also want to find a lot of isolated stuff that has a lot of irregularities. And if you look down the bank, you have all that here. You know, it's not just a sheer wall of just mats or grass or whatever it is. And then what makes it even better here is you got wood mixed in, you got overhanging trees. You know, there's just a lot going for it. And what happens is when the tide drops out, you just get out on these ends and you can kind of look like I look at this, and I don't look at it as a mat. I look at it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 10 opportunities to catch probably better than average fish because of the way that the vegetation's set up.
Yeah, you just look. You see all those points out there.
Every single one of those points. Like Nick's counting the same ones I count.
When Ken's saying that water's dropping out from the bank, all these fish that can hide up here when the water's up are all going to pull out on these points. This is key target areas for them. So Ken's lining us up just to go down and hit and pick apart all the outsides of those points.
Right, and they're not all out there because Nick has gotten some bites in also.
Yep.
But those are just your higher percentage spots. Dang. Strong.
It's strong. A little better. A little better. Catcher's mitt.
Just look how nice these fish are, man.
Shabooty.
Just freaking. It's like a 2.5-er, 2 1/4.
Yeah.
Just solid.
Stout though. Look at the frame of that fish.
Ugh. Gonna be.
Now's my chance.
I mean, God, so much fun. Not bad.
Not bad. We'll take her. We'll take her. You know, we're not jacking.
They're starting to bite.
They're starting to bite.
Starting to bite again. We had a little lull.
We haven't got the giants. You never know. Giants can come at the last minute.
Nope. Keepers.
Oh. And it's
Steer right.
Look at my bait. Look at my bait. That sucked. Press record on that guy. Stirac!
So now I want to show you a few catches from I think it was about 2 or 3 days later. I decided to go back out there. I don't normally fish the North Delta, so I really wasn't aware of what Ken and I would be fishing. But seeing what Ken was doing, the patterns he had going there, I wanted to go back and get some revenge on the fish since I pretty much got my butt kicked on the day Ken and I were out shooting. So I went back there. Normally my intention was to flip like Elodea mats, which are more of like a grassy style mat, not like a hyacinth mat. And like I said in the film here, how I had to switch to that 1.5 ounce to start punching those hyacinth mats instead of like a 3/4 ounce, which you would be punching Elodea mats. So with all that in mind, I went back and I was wrecking some fish on the chatterbait, wrecking some fish, punching. But I want to reiterate what it takes to be a professional angler and how these guys think differently, especially Ken Ma. Ken Ma is notorious for fishing presentations that catch bigger than average fish. You know, there's lots of times in a day where it gets tough and there's a lull and you're not getting bit and you want to throw something like a drop shot or drag a worm to get those extra bites. And Ken will fish that same scenario and not do something that's not going to appeal to a bigger fish. He'll throw that chatterbait, he'll throw a double buzz, he'll punch, and man, this is so commendable because it is very, very difficult to do, to keep that mindset and to stay very efficient. One thing you'll notice about Ken is he never, ever is not casting. He always has a bigger presentation ready or a technique that's known for catching bigger fish ready. And even moving up to a mat that we're going to punch, if there's sparse grass, he's throwing chatterbaits in on the way in, vibrating jigs, or he's throwing a bigger presentation, he can crawl on the bottom, or he's throwing a jig to timber. He's effectively fishing everything he can super efficiently to get those bigger bites. And that's what it takes, guys. A lot of the time to get over on the competition, you have to be extremely efficient. You have to know what appeals to that bigger fish. And my hat goes off to Ken because he is willing to put it all on the line anywhere he goes, and he stays in that mindset the whole time and fishes extremely positive. What a really cool opportunity to get out there and fish with Ken.
All right, guys, so that's it for the day. We got a little 4-hour session in. So we're doing these little part sessions with Ken, but you know, it's I wouldn't say today was tough. What do we got? 15 fish, maybe 12,
yeah.
12 to close to 20 range.
Yeah,
we're getting
a lot more bites.
A lot more bites.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting a lot of bites. The main players of the day, punching.
Yep.
For sure was one. I honestly think the vibrating jig was out fishing
the punching though. It seemed like because the tide was out.
And for the short, we did the punching a lot more than we did the vibrating jig. So
Yeah.
To get that many bites in that short time.
Yeah, we were nearing the bottom of the tide, and recently I've been on a low outgo tide bite, and you have too, right?
Yeah.
And mine was frogging, but I threw a plastic frog today, a soft plastic frog. Couldn't get him to go on it. Had one blow up on that. You had a couple of buzzbait fish, double buzz, yeah. Got them to come up on that. So we were thinking we would have that good evening topwater. So we swung for the fences at the end, and you got like one swirl near the end.
And the tide, I think the tide just put them in a little funky mood.
The start of the income in the evening just wasn't what they wanted, but that low tide, we got out there, we went for different depths, we went for different river bends, tried different things, looking for that bigger bite. We didn't get the bigger bite tonight, but we caught a lot of fish.
It was a blast.
Had a lot of fun, as always, man. But we'll get back out with Ken and we'll show you the big fish, but we had a ton of fun just catching fish today. Hanging out with this guy, talking shop and catching fish is always good times. Ken, once again, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching, man. Make sure to hit up Ken's social media. I'll put all the links here below.
Please.
And visit informativefisherman.com. Thanks, guys.